Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Psychosin project here on Total Metal Radio. And with me today, I've got a very special guest, as many of my listeners already know. The guitarist for a band I will admit I'm personally slightly obsessed with, Dino Cazares of Fear Factory. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you very much for having me on. I appreciate it.
No worries. Now, you're releasing your new album, Genexus, in August this year. Was this an easy or difficult album to make after obviously making about 9 or 10 previously?
Really difficult. It just, we took our time making the record. We also did a lot of touring in between the record. And also, I lost my father during the making of the record. So, had a lot of things that happened on the way. But we are very proud of the final outcome. And we just can't wait for everybody to hear it.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I absolutely cannot wait to hear it and see you guys live again. Next time you play UK, be the 16th time I've seen you live since the Obsolete tour. So,
wow, that's a while.
Yeah, man, I've literally tried to get to every gig you've played in London since I saw you on the Obsolete tour back in, Christ, when was that? It was 99 when you played with Gary Newman come on stage with you at Halloween.
That was at the Brixton Academy. I remember that very well.
That's the one. That was my first experience of you live. Absolutely awesome. Talking of live gigs, have you actually started playing any of the new tracks from Genexus live yet?
Absolutely not. Not yet.
So no sneak peeks for people.
The first show that we have coming up is June 20th, which is in Canada. It's in Canada. It's a place, it's a festival called the Amnesia Rock Festival. So that's the first show. And then in the beginning of July, we'll be over in Europe doing a lot of European festivals. I'm not sure when we're going to be hitting the UK, but I believe it should be around the winter time. And I believe that we will be doing something special for the demanufacture 20-year anniversary.
Excellent. Looking forward to that. Also, this little thing that Replica posted the other day about, I'm guessing it's to do with a possible tour along with you guys.
Who?
Replica.
They did?
They posted something. They basically posted their cover of Replica by Fear Factory. So, and they said, here's a little hint of what might be coming up.
That would be amazing if that happened. I mean, I didn't hear anything about that, but that would be really cool.
I mean, we might have completely the wrong end of the stick, but I can't see what else that would obviously allude to. So, I mean, have you heard their cover of Replica?
Was that? Yeah, of course I did. I actually went on stage with them when they played here in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And I played the song Replica with them. It was great.
Excellent. Damn, I wish you've been there now.
It was really cool. It was really cool to hear her voice. It's really cool to hear the song interpreted differently.
Yeah.
I am so feeling pain. It's like, it was cool, man. It was epic.
Oh, see what you did there.
I was going to say was Did they put that hint on their Facebook page or something?
It was on their Facebook page. It just said we've got to be announcing hopefully something soon. But here's a little hint, and it was just literally a link to their YouTube version of the Replica cover. So I was wondering if you knew anything about it yourself.
If that, I would be happy if that happened. I'd have to talk to my manager and find out. I don't know. Sometimes there's stuff that are management companies and our booking agents are planning, but they don't exactly tell us everything until it's confirmed. You know what I mean?
Oh, right, okay. So you left in the dark until the very last moment, basically.
I wouldn't say the last moment, but I would say we're left in the dark until it's confirmed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, talking about Genexus, will we be hearing a single from the album anytime soon?
Yes, you'll be hearing a single from the album sometime within the next couple of weeks. We feel that the record's really strong.
Yeah.
And we feel, and it's been very difficult to pick the right song, that we want people to hear first.
Yeah.
You know, do you want people to hear a fast song? Do you want people to hear a groovy song? Do you want people to hear a heavy song? You know, so because the record kind of goes. There's so many different types of songs on the record that, you know, it kind of goes through our. When you listen to certain songs, it reminds you of certain albums.
Yeah.
And so the songs on the record kind of go through different times of Fear Factory's career. You know what I mean? You can hear that. And I didn't really notice that until after everything was written and everything was recorded. I was like, wow, okay, this reminds me of, like, you know, something that would be on Obsolete, or this reminds me of something that would be on Demanufacture, or this reminds me of something that would be on Mechanize. So it has, like, this vibe of all those records, and it's so hard to pick what the first single would be because there's so many different parts of Fear Factory, you know?
Yeah. So it's kind of like a best of all the best bits of your previous career, your career so far, all combined together with something fresh to make a completely brand new sound and album.
Correct. Like, for instance, you know, Edge Crusher is a great song, but do you think a song like Edge Crusher really represents Fear Factory? I mean, yes and no, you know what I mean? The song South by Sister is a great song. Does that represent Fear Factory as well? Yes, but is it, you know what I mean? So it's so hard to choose what you want people to hear first.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where if you want to represent the band and an album as a whole, obviously just choosing one song, that's only showing one facet of the entire sound of the album. So I can understand why you're having issues trying to think of what the lead-off single would be. So
exactly, you said it much better than I did.
No worries. Now, is the new album going to be going back to being another concept album?
Yes, it is. It's another concept album, and it's definitely the concept is definitely a hybrid. Just like the title. The title is Genexus is a hybrid of two words.
Yeah.
Genesis and Nexus, of course, right? Yeah. This word describes. We feel that this word describes the next transition in human evolution. You know, as we, as you know, man, as humans, move forward to a mechanical state of being.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like where we're at. Genexus is the term for the next evolutionary process where humans are machines and machines are human, and the differences are oblivious to the naked eye. In other words, we won't be able to tell, you know, what's real and what's not real.
Yeah, and I mean, after all this, I mean, you've written about similar themes with previous albums. All this, and you still haven't been asked to do a Terminator soundtrack. What's going on there? Really?
Yeah, what the fuck, right? What the fuck?
I mean, all they need to do is ask you if they could just use the whole of Demanufacture album, and there we go. Terminator soundtrack sorted.
Exactly. Actually, you know, it's funny you say that because we've actually, when we were making Demanufacture, we actually mixed the record into we mixed the record in a studio where they mix soundtracks for movies. So in front of the mixing console, they had a full-on massive video screen up on the wall. I mean, massive. It's like you're at the movie theaters. It's massive. So we decided to play like DVDs of Terminator and Blade Runner, and just turn the sound off, of course, and then play our songs, and it fit perfectly.
Well, they're supposedly remaking Blade Runner or doing a sequel, so you never know. Might be able to get Fear Factory on that one, with any luck.
There you go. Also, there. I've already heard the concept that Decker finds out it's an automaton.
Yeah.
Automaton. Sorry.
Which would obviously suit your sound and your concepts perfectly. So perfectly, exactly. Now, obviously, over the last two albums, Mechanize and The Industrialist, you went back to a much more heavier style, echoing obviously Soul of a New Machine and Demanufacture up to roughly about Obsolete. Is this something that's continuing with Genexus, or are you going even heavier with the new album?
Wow, I never thought that way, but that's pretty cool. That's how you've kind of pinpointed it. Genexus, it's like I said, it represents the whole different periods of Fear Factory. It's really hard to describe this record as I don't know. It's hard for me to describe it. It's just really good, and when you listen to it, each song is so different from one another that it takes you back to the different time periods of Fear Factory.
Yeah. Now, how do you feel yourself that the sound of the band has evolved over the last 25 years?
Well, on this record, we've actually added a lot more keyboards on this record. I would say more like... There's a lot of keyboards more like the EP Fears the Mind Killer. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
Yeah, I've got it.
Yeah. So we've had a lot more keyboard elements. Probably a little bit more than we've had in the past. But we just try to evolve as far as just like emotionally what we sing about. We feel that we haven't lost our passion.
Yeah.
We feel that we haven't lost our edge. You know what I mean? The band's still very aggressive, and I'm definitely more the metal side than Bert is. Bert's more of the poetic. He likes more of the artists. I'm more like he likes more like Nick Cave and guys like that.
Yeah. I'm
more of the metal guy, and somewhere me and him, we just seem to somehow connect when it comes to that stuff. And I feel that how we evolve is just to not devolve.
Yeah, I mean the different sides you both have come across with your other bands. Obviously, you went for the more metal side when you were doing Divine Heresy. And obviously, Bert and Seabell had Ascension of the Watchers, which was something that I don't think anyone was quite expecting from him after Fear Factory for so long. So,
no, definitely not.
Just to go off of the Fear Factory for a second, just a quick question, because I know people are wondering, will there ever be another Divine Heresy album?
Yes. Did you like Divine Heresy?
I did. Unfortunately, I never got round to hearing the second album because it came out at a time when I was made unemployed at the time. So I've got to get round to that. But I did like the first album, but I know there's a few issues that happened with the lead singer, the original singer. So I haven't got round to hearing the second album, but loved what you were doing with it, with the kind of infusion of what you were doing with Fear Factory, and then mixing it with a bit of metalcore as well.
Yeah, a little bit more extreme. Yeah. There will be definitely another Divine Heresy record. When right now, I can't tell you.
Yeah.
Because obviously, Fear Factory is taking up a lot of my time, which I love. Fear Factory was my baby from the beginning. So it's spending a lot of time with Fear Factory definitely doesn't leave you much time for other projects. You know what I mean?
No. I imagine you're getting swamped with tour requests, etc. at the moment, as it is.
Yes, tour requests and a lot of interviews and stuff. Stuff's already starting to come up. But we're on a new label now. We're on Nuclear Blast.
Yeah.
Which kind of remind me a little bit of Roadrunner, because when Roadrunner first came out, they had the passion, and they were all fans of the music, and everybody loved the bands that they were working for. That's kind of like what Nuclear Blast reminds me of, going, because when we were off Roadrunner, we went to a couple other labels, and it was a little weird, we didn't get the attention that we felt that we deserved.
Yeah.
So, going to Nuclear Blast, we have a guy named Monty Connor, who's our A&R guy, who originally signed the band back in 1992.
Yeah.
And he, loves the band, understands the band, so he kind of treats this as his baby as well. Not just him, but people at the label as well. They treat it like it's their baby, and they're really behind the bands, and that's really good. And it's very comforting, and it's very you put a lot of trust into the label,
yeah,
and we're happy being there, and so we just feel that it's a good place to be for us.
Excellent. Now, so was Monk Connor, obviously being part of Nuclear Blast, part of the deciding factor to go with that label?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And not just that, it's just how they treat their bands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They treat their bands really well. And like I said, they're very passionate about the bands that they work for, because they're fans themselves,
Yeah.
And that always works out good, because sometimes, you get these suit and tie guys that just maybe heard of your band last week. They're trying to, get people to like your band. Like, he doesn't even fucking like the band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These people grew up with the music. Obviously, they're fans of the music, fans of the bands, and fans of the scenes, and they're metalheads, and they're working your music, and it makes a big difference.
Excellent. Now, you mentioned obviously the Demanufactured 20th anniversary tour that you're doing. Are you bringing that to the UK?
Well, it's going to happen. I can't tell you exactly when.
Yeah.
But we believe that it might happen later this year.
Excellent.
Because June 15th will be the 20-year anniversary of Demanufacture.
Excellent. Well, I have to remember that.
And if you're going to ask me if we're bringing any kind of fucking Terminators with us, we'll see.
Can only, but as I said, I'll be there either way, so I'll see it firsthand if you do. It'll be excellent. Now, after so many albums, what do you do to keep the sound of Fear Factory fresh for yourselves and keep each album as unique as possible from each other?
Well, for me, of course, I'm a big fan of music. I'm a big fan of metal or anything heavy like that. And I always keep my ear to the ground of what's new, what's coming out, and, as far, even as well as technology, music technology, music gear. That for me, because I have this thirst for trying to find the best guitar tone or what creates the best guitar tone.
Yeah.
Keeps that drive for me to want to it's pleasurable for my ears to try to search for the best stuff, and that drives me. That just drives me alone. The minute I pick up my guitar, I hear a crunch, clang. It's like that's like music to my ears, and it's like I don't know how to explain it. It's my life, and so that's why I love it. I love it so much. And that's what drives me to, keep trying to write something new and just trying to, do the best that I can do as far as tone and production and my writing skills, But as far as for the band, that's pretty much what drives me in the band. And I think, being a fan of movies, being a fan of conceptual movies, one of my favorite, Ex Machina. I don't know if you heard of it.
Heard of, haven't seen though.
There's one called Ex Machina. It's a new movie that just came out. It's fucking sick. You got to see it. Sci-fi movies that really get me going. Like we're talking about the reissue of the Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Terminator. Obviously, the new Mad Max is amazing. That kind of stuff really, gets us going. Bert loves that kind of stuff majorly, and Bert's constantly reading new books and Bert's constantly watching videos on conspiracy theories and aliens, that Area 51, he's really in tune with that.
Yeah.
And so that, a lot of the stuff that we've been talking about for years has definitely has definitely seen the light of day, technology, how we all are glued to our phones.
Yeah, for better or worse.
Yeah, exactly, for better or worse. A lot of that stuff we've been talking about for years, and since the beginning of our, man is becoming obsolete. The cloning technologies, all that stuff, just being into all that stuff, that's just what inspires us to write the music that we write.
Yeah.
We could be a satanic band, we could be a black metal band, and we write about satanic shit all the time.
Yeah.
We can use pentagrams and upside down crosses, but that's just not who we are. We're more of the future, where technology's taking us, how much it plays a part in our life, and how much we change and grow as humans.
Yeah, which has obviously always been the central theme for Fear Factory since you started back on Soul of a New Machine.
Correct.
Just the title of that album.
Yeah, correct. If some people have always been like, well, are you going to sing about that again? Well, it's like, well, what if we were a satanic band? What are we going to... Every record's going to be about Satan.
It's a good point, though. No one ever calls out black metal bands on that, about how they're just going on about being against religion all the time. So what is it about picking on you for doing that, really?
Well, that is only one part of the spectrum. You know what they sing about. We sing, I think, about more things that deal with other issues. You know what I mean? Like we've had songs on that deal with religion.
Yeah.
Piss Christ.
Yeah.
Christploitation. On Mechanized Record, you know, we deal with issues like rape, Replica. I am rape. I am hate.
Yeah.
It's about someone who was being conceived through rape. You know, so we've sang about a lot of different issues. Of course, thrown in there with, you know, the technology, man versus machine, the apocalyptic world. What's going to happen? Where are we going to go? Is it going to be more towards Mad Max, where everything is just completely fucking dead?
Yeah.
Or is it just going to be us and fucking robots everywhere? You know what I mean?
In a way, you could say the concept of Fear Factory all along has been the chaos of humanity versus the upcoming technological wave of the future.
Correct. You said it best.
I'll be honest, I pulled that right out my ass for a moment there.
That was a good quote. That was a good quote. That was a good quote. I think you should type that out for me and send it to me so I can use it, and I'll quote you on that.
Go for it. I'll be honest, to be honest with you. Now, do you feel that the band is being given more recognition now for the influence you've had on the metal scene than you've ever got before?
No.
No?
No. You know, we feel that from the beginning of Fear Factory, we've always been pushing the boundaries.
Yeah.
You know, back when we started, you know, we were we had a death metal sound.
Yeah.
With industrial elements with melodic vocals.
And a little bit of grindcore in there as well.
Grindcore, exactly. And then, you know, people, when they first heard it, at the time, in 1992, what was really big was death metal and grindcore. So when people heard that, when the fans of that kind of music heard Fear Factory, they were like, what the fuck is this shit? You know, like, why is there clean vocals? That doesn't fit. That doesn't work. And then we did Fear is the Mind Killer, which is completely dance remixes of the grindcore death metal.
Yeah, that was a big, huge risk.
And totally people were like, what the fuck is this faggot dance shit? People were talking so much shit, it was so bad. And then, you know, obviously with Demanufacture, I think we hit the nail on the mark.
Yeah.
You know, we grew up, we got better, boom. That opened whole new doors for us. Now people were like, okay, this works. I like the clean vocals, you know what I mean? I like this, I like that, oh, okay, I get it. You know, and, you know, I think that today that, you know, I think there's so many new bands coming out that they don't know where it originally came from.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't know the history. So do I feel that we get the recognition? No.
I was saying that, when you had, I believe it was there's a double pack that come out of Fear is the Mind Killer and a re-release of your first album. You had quotes from, obviously, Rob Flynn from Machine Head and Rob Hunter from Chimera, so, sort of giving recognition to yourself and Bert for your riffs, and obviously Burton's vocal style. So there are some out there who have given recognition for it.
Yeah. I mean, Rob Flynn's been a fan of, I mean, I'm not a fan, but a friend of ours for quite a long time.
Yeah.
He was there for the very first tour that Fear Factory's ever did. He was there hanging out. You know, I think when you have certain musicians who really get what you're doing,
yeah,
you know what I mean? It's definitely an honor. It's definitely cool that, you know, guys like Rob Flynn and Mark Camira, you know, obviously Camira were very influenced by Fear Factory.
Yeah, they I think they admit that from the off, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you know, and Static X, you know, a lot of bands. There's a lot of bands. There is some bands who give us recognition, but there's a lot of bands who just don't even remember where it came from or don't know because generations have gone by.
Yeah.
Or at least two and a half decades have gone by where people don't know where it originally came from. So they don't know who to give props to. They might give props to a band like Killswitch Engage because they think that's where it came from first.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so. Yeah, but obviously you got a new album coming out, you can now sort of go, No, we were doing it first back in '92. Come on.
but I'm not also here to try to preach and say, look, hey man, we were the first bands to do it. Fuck you guys. No, I'm not really doing about that. But when you ask me the question, if we do get a lot of respect or a lot of props for that, not necessarily. Maybe amongst certain artists, but as far as like fans of where they know where it came from, no.
Okay. Now, on the new album, you have Journey Drum. I'm going to apologise right now if I completely mispronounce his last name. Dean Castronovo, guesting.
That's it. That's it.
Excellent. How did this come about?
Well, if you remember back in 1995, Bert did a project called GZR.
Yeah. I actually have got the album with him on.
Yeah, Dean Castronovo was the drummer.
Oh, right. Okay, so you've kept in contact with him, basically.
Yes, exactly. He comes out to our shows. We've gone to Journey shows and hung out. You know what I mean? It's a respect amongst the musicians, and he's extremely talented. He's a great drummer, and he's a great singer.
Yeah.
And Mike Heller, our drummer that we've had for the last 3 years, played on the whole record. But Dean was really a big fan. And Bert had approached him about playing a song on the record.
Yeah.
And he was like, fuck yeah. So we sent him a track and he did it. It was amazing. Came out fucking great. We were honestly thinking about that song being the first single.
Yeah.
But we don't know yet.
We also
do you know which song he sang on?
No, I can't say I do.
I meant, do you know which song he played on?
No.
Okay, well, I can't tell you because I'm going to blow the secret if that becomes the first single.
Yeah, that's fair enough, man. That's fair enough. Obviously, you had Dean Castronovo. Were you considering having any other guests on the album?
We did here and there. Obviously we wanted Al Jorgensen.
Yeah.
On the record, but a lot of people's schedules didn't meet ours, and they were either on the road or they were busy doing other things.
Yeah,
that it didn't work out. But we're happy that we're happy that Dean Castronovo was on it, and hopefully in the future we'll be able to get to jam with other people.
Yeah, I mean obviously it worked back when you done the Digimortal album. Had some amazing guests on that with Be Real from. Cypress Hill, cross forgetting everyone today.
Yes.
And obviously, it'd be fantastic to hear some more guests on their future albums, hopefully. Now, here's something that every Fear Factory fan has probably been hoping for, and maybe you can answer this. Will there be any plans for a future live DVD and album?
Do you like live DVDs?
Some can be good and some can be terrible. It is a bit 50-50.
Yeah. So, we don't have any plans, but we do have plans to do a lot of live recordings. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's about as much as I can tell you. We're gonna live recordings, and we're gonna film a lot of stuff, and we're gonna record a lot of stuff, and we're just gonna see what we get out of it. It probably won't be like a Pantera video, which I love those videos. We're not really the party kind of band.
Well, you also did something like that already with your digital connectivity DVD back in 2002, I believe that came out.
Yeah, there was actually a lot of footage that did not get used. It was kind of disheartening because there was so much. For some reason, they limited us to only 90 minutes.
Yeah.
We wanted to go a little bit further than that because there was a lot of footage that did not get used, and a lot of, obviously we were kids back then, and we wanted to show more of, really where we came from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a lot more of the backyard footage and stuff like that.
Well, if you do another thing like the digital connectivity DVD, obviously go out to modern day with Genexus and hopefully be able to use more of that footage. And nowadays, no one would have a problem with going over an hour and a half format for it. So.
Yeah, if we did another DVD, it would probably be a DVD for, the 2015 DVD. Probably not so much the history of Fear Factory because, like you said, we got a little bit of that on digital connectivity. It would probably be more from from the last 5 or more years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mainly more focusing on a live, on probably one. You know what? Actually, honestly, if we're gonna, we actually have thought about it, to be honest with you, and we were thinking about if we did do something like that, it would be songs from all different parts of the world, not necessarily just one.
Yeah.
Spot. You know what I mean? Like one song from Australia, one song from Russia, 1 or 2 songs from the UK.
Yeah.
You know, song from Germany, something like that.
Excellent. Now, as I've mentioned a few times, you're doing the 20th anniversary tour for Demanufacture. In a few years, do you think you'll be doing a 20th anniversary tour for Obsolete?
Ooh.
Because that was a big album as well for you. So.
Good question. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Do you think it would be a good idea?
I think it would go down just as well as your Demanufacture tour. I really do. Because obviously you got Resurrection on there, you got Edge Crusher, you got Obsolete itself, which, if it was possible and you could get Gary Newman for 1 or 2 shows again, would be absolutely amazing. And it's obviously an album that's definitely as strong as Demanufacture and is as loved as much. So,
or maybe get Gary Newman to do all the UK shows with us.
If he's available, obviously it would again depend on his schedule. So, like Al Jurgensen.
Yeah, he lives here. He lives here now.
Yeah.
Gary Newman, not too far from me, a couple miles.
Oh well, there you go. Maybe there's an idea for you. Ask him.
G'day, mate.
Now, finally, have you got anything you would like to say to your fans?
I'd like to say is I can't wait for you guys to hear this new record. I can't wait to get back on the road. I can't wait to meet everybody and say hi to everybody. We've been working on this record for the past year. We just can't wait to get back out there and do it again and play these songs live and just see, you know, the reaction from everybody. So I can't wait to see you out there, and I can't wait for everybody to listen to the record.
Excellent. Dino, it's been personally a massive honour for me to have you on the show tonight. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
Looking forward to Genexus. Ladies and gentlemen, Genexus is out, I believe it's 7th of August. Have I got that right?
August 7th, correct.
Yeah, 7th of August. Go check it out. As Dino said, first single's out, hopefully in a couple of weeks. Make sure to check that out as well. I've been Psychosin. This has been the Psychosin Project. Good night.